everybody. Yeah, it's that night. It's bar chord night, right? And that doesn't happen too often in this house. I'll tell you that right now, right? So I'm not a bar chord guy, but here we are. So what happens with me, full disclosure, is I was an open chord guy, and once I started getting that taste of, hey, I'm starting to sound good, I did not want to break that momentum and start learning something else like a bar chord and have to go through that whole beginner's thing again, even though I was still in it. I know you know what I mean. And so I stuck to open chords, and then I went as far as 3 open chords could take me. And I played all kinds of songs, and then slowly introduced an A minor or a D minor or an E minor or something into my repertoire that allowed me to play even more songs. But eventually, hey, B minor started to rear its head, then F sharp minor, okay? So I had to learn them. And I stayed with those 2 chords for the longest time. And then finally, okay, let's see what this bar chord thing is all about. So for those of you that are either still trying to fast track and get to the point of playing bar chords and actually using them in songs for the whole song, or chord progressions of all bar chords, there's something first I want to show you that I think, well, I kind of think it's amusing and it's kind of odd, or it's a rare, I don't know what it is, okay? And I don't know how it's going to help you. So we can file this under irrelevant, useless pieces of guitar information anytime you want. But here it is. So we often talk in notes that a G is always followed by C. They work together. They're always under each other and over each other. Same thing with F sharp and B. Same thing with A and D, right? So there always seems to be, something going on there. They're always together. So when I started playing bar chords, I started to realize that the way that I was practicing them wasn't really, it was kind of hindering me, right? Because what happens is we learn our bar chords, say E-shaped first, right? So there's F, G, A, B, C, D, right? And we learn, oh, it's so nice. We slide. We don't have to move. We just slide up and down, and we can work on our tension to decrease the squeaking and all that. But in reality, it's very rare that we play that way. Like, it just doesn't come up very often. If it does, it might only be a couple of chords. Like you might go G, A, but then you're going to have to go somewhere else or switch up the fingering. So what I noticed was, and now it's like duh moment, but back then I thought I was really smart, because what I noticed was most songs in my open pool were the same kind of rotation. G, C, D, A, E, D, that kind of G, A, D, that kind of stuff, right? So I started realizing that, hey, wait a minute. These chords that come up a lot together, right? Like these bar chords in songs. B minor, for example. All it is just rejigging these front fingers to become I don't have to slide anywhere, and it becomes an F sharp minor. And right here, lo and behold, the G, right? All I got to do is move that to a C, and it's all right there, G, C, right? And then, of course, the same here, like whether it's A minor or it's A major, I got the D and the D minor right there in the same fret. And I thought, hey, just like the notes, A, D, right? I got F and B flat, right? I got F sharp minor and B minor. I'm like, wow. Am I onto something? Well, probably not. But anyways, maybe somewhere down the road, you'll figure out a way that it helps you, right? But so the point of this video is on how to learn how I learn my bar chords and how I practice my bar chords, right? Once I realized I wasn't going to play F, G, A, B, C, D, E too often back to back in that order in songs, I switched over to these combinations to start me off, right? So let's take a look at that. So I start off, I would go F, B flat, F, B flat, right? Get that going. Then I would slide over to G, C, G, C, G, A, D, A, and that's how I would start practicing. Then I would start crossing over. So only when I'm comfortable. At first I would just run this. Now what I'm doing here is not only am I playing or learning how to transition between two bar chords that are gonna come up a lot of times back to back, but I'm also like just keeping it simple, right? Keep it slow, keep it controlled. I'm learning how to switch between that E shaped, slide the bar down to unplay that top string, reposition my fingers. Now I happen to use 2 fingers to bar those 3 strings. Some people are just using the 1 finger, and that's cool. And sometimes I do too. It all depends, you know, where I am. I really can't say I'm strong either way with it, so I kind of whatever it, right? But what I start doing is by doing that G to C, G to C, then I'll slide over to the D, because G, C, D, D, C, G, D, C, D, D, G, C, they all come up, right, in any order. So wouldn't it make sense to practice that chord, that little mini chord progression in your bar chords? Just like the same thing when you've got A, D, E, D, right? A, E, B, right? So we have A, E, B. So this helped me tremendously. And again, full disclosure, I am not a bar chord guy, and I go weeks without playing bar chords, except, again, the exception of B minor. I play that. It comes up in a lot of the songs that I play, and some a little bit F sharp minor. But I avoid them. And then what happens to me is one day, for whatever reason, I play a bar chord, and I realize, oh, how sloppy was that. That didn't sound good, and it wasn't comfortable. And it just reinforces that, hey, you haven't done this for a while. You better put some time in, or you're going to lose that, right? Because remember what I always tell you? It's all about muscle memory and motor mechanics. And if you keep it going, you're going to sharpen them and get quicker and quicker at anything you do on guitar. But the same happens as if you don't do it. Right? You really lose it. But the beauty is it comes back real fast. So I'll end up spending an hour until my wrist is sore and, you know, my back of my hand is sore and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of this. And I'll just play bar chords for the hour. And again, working on quality, controlled strumming, okay? Make sure my fingers are switched. Make sure the chord sounds right in my ear. Right? So I'll do that for an hour. And then the next day when I pick up my guitar, because when I do pick up my guitar, my go-to right now is I pick it up and I pick some notes, right? Then from there, I start strumming open chords. That's my thing. Like, figure out where this is going today. You know what I mean? This is my thing. For you, it might well be bar chords. So if that's the case, the next day after a good hour session, with nothing but bar chords and practicing properly, the next day you're going to pick up your guitar and go right to your bar chords, and you're going to, it's there, like it's there. So it's kind of like a box that I do, right? You know, G, C, A, D. Then I'll go G, C, D, C, G. Then I'll go A, D, Same movements, just a couple of frets higher, that's all. And, you work on both hands eventually, even if you just put a few minutes a day into that. Eventually, you're going to become quite proficient, right, with bar chords. And remember, there's always those pairings, and they come up so often. And that's B minor, F with B flat, okay, G with C, and of course A with some form of D. There's D minor, D major, A minor, A major. So they're right there, the pairs, the twins, right? The E-shaped and A-shaped twins. Get those under your belt first, and that will lead to much faster song playing, definitely. All right? So I hope this kind of has helped. I still don't know the relevance between the note thing that I told you about, but, well, maybe I think this is probably for bigger guitar god brains than me, for sure. All right? So remember, it's all about the practice. Thanks so much for your ongoing support, and we'll see you again soon with something different. All right? Bye.